72-hour romance. Don't step on it.
It's God or the romance? Those are my Amazon shopping cart where I have about $5,000.
Me too. I'm like, don't tell me that. I don't need any more books. I'm like running out of book space. I just have rooms now with just fucking books piled up. I sleep with them now. I'm like, I'm a big, what is it, a bibliophile?
Yeah.
Not to be confused with the,
The other one.
yeah, they go in there. But the bibliophile
Like a movie scene in the sweetest dream, I pictured us together.
So here's the format, and let's just see how it works. I'm not going to sing the whole song. I'm just going to do a verse or two, and then it's going. This isn't even in my range, but the idea is that somebody always, and it shouldn't always be me, but somebody sings a song that's related to whatever it is that we're going to be watching. Jennifer Lopez guest starred on Will and Grace 3 times and sang Waiting for Tonight twice. The song is also a recurring gag. Well, I'm just letting you guys know. Are we live yet?
Let's go on.
Yes, but hold on, I have to put an ad on my
Okay. So the idea is that someone will sing a song that's related, and then when the first opportunity for when the bridge comes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to CFTA, and then everyone comes up. So it's going to be Will, Grace, Jack, Karen, and then the moment that the host, and the host for this movie series is Jason, the moment that Jason's announced, why do I keep doing that? Damn it. The moment that Kristian's announced, I stop talking and Kristian leads the conversation and everything else. Dexter is posting an ad. So do you want to do a quick run through?
Quick run through?
Just sitting down
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff.
Oh, yes,
So that when we go live, it looks polished. No, I'll call you all.
You'll call me up, right? Okay.
No one wants to sing? And the strategy for this song is really just to use people to get their asses in the seats.
Like a movie scene in the sweetest dream, I've pictured us together. Now to feel your lips on my fingertips, I have to say is even better than I ever thought it could possibly be. It's perfect, it's passion, it's setting me free from all of the sadness, the tears that I've cried. Waiting for Tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Center for the Talking Arts. This is Will and Grace Live, the first of our Table Read Tuesdays. I am so happy to bring to the stage, as Will, Jason Thompson.
Keep it down, for God's sake.
As Grace, Cherry Poppin Suzie. And as Jack, your host for the evening, the one and only, Kristian Reimer.
So do you like that? So do you like the way that runs, or do you not like the way that whole thing goes?
I should probably go first, then him, then you, just because he has to
No, I'll
move
be
out
on
of
the
my
end.
way.
You'll be right here.
Yeah? But he called him first.
Yeah.
So then I had to
Yeah.
call
So
over
why
him.
don't
Yeah.
so Jason, why don't you sit here?
All right.
So that way, because Susie's right, it's kind of awkward.
Okay.
One more time. One more time.
So is Dexter? Just let us know when you're ready. We'll run through before that.
live right now.
Oh. Hello, world.
We're just trying to master the intro.
saying, Dexter?
Cement a whole structure with the
That's right.
show what's happening with the outside.
This is the first time. So before we get started and before we really, do anything, I just want to say that I'm unbelievably grateful to everyone for being here, like unbelievably. This was Kristian's idea. It was a really brilliant idea on a million different levels that we'll talk about later. But just thank you so much. This is really a dream come true. All right. I'm Jennifer Lopez. La Lopez. Like a movie scene in the sweetest dream, I've pictured us together. Now to feel your lips on my fingertips, I have to say is even better than I ever thought it could possibly be. It's perfect, it's passion, it's setting me free from all of the sadness, the tears that I've cried. I have spent all of my life waiting for tonight. Oh. All right, enough of La Lopez. Let's get this show started. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at the Center for Talking Arts in downtown Hamilton. My name is Sean Patrick Sullivan. I'll be playing Karen tonight. Let's bring up our esteemed cast right now. As Will, Jason Thompson. As Grace, Cherry Poppin Suzie. Make sure that you're not on that back thing. We don't want you falling and dying on our first table read Tuesday. And as Jack and your host for this evening's show and conversation, the one, the only, Kristian Reimer.
Hey, good evening, welcome, please.
With this support animal.
Yes, and my support, Bella, who's...
She doesn't want to come up.
Okay, good.
You want to get that dog on camera? It's good for views.
Oh, yeah, where's...
Only if you want to. Would you like to
Playing
introduce...
all the secondary characters, Bella.
Would you like to... Bella?
Yes.
Hi, Bella.
Hi.
Hey there.
This is the first time on stage. We've been trying to do a stage act, right? Yeah. We'll get to it. We're working. She's good with some tricks. Stay.
Me too.
Double entendre. Well, welcome. This is great. We're going to be doing a table read here tonight of the the pilot episode of Will and Grace. Will and Grace, a fan favorite of many, and Sean, Patrick Sullivan here, not with the ODO, but was very enthusiastic and passionate about Will and Grace. And so we took this idea and said, well, wouldn't it be fun to actually read the script, giving performers the opportunity to do some script reading? We have some audience engagement and a chance to explore some classic, what would be now considered classic sitcoms, right? And this is not lost on us, but maybe a generation who didn't grow up with like going, ooh, Thursday nights, we need to tune in at 8 p.m. for Will and Grace. And I think this is great. This is great. I'm glad everybody jumped on board. Sean, you being a Will and Grace fan, dare I say, probably the most passionate fan up here. What is it that drew you to saying, let's make Will and Grace happen?
The fact that you liked it too. And I really wanted to work with you.
Oh, that's wonderful.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I actually have a bit of an ambivalent relationship with Will and Grace because there are some regards in which I hated the original run.
Oh, really?
Yes, as a full-blown homosexual, I sometimes found the humor very lazy. Too many jokes that were along the lines of ha ha ha, but he's gay.
Oh,
Right.
Who's
But-
gay? There's.
But there were other episodes. That were so much stronger. I've never been one of those people who's wanted or needed to feel represented. So that was never important to me.
Right.
What I was really drawn to was the insouciance of it, the combination of New York City glamour.
Mm-hmm.
Grace, for example, worked in interior design, which was the field that I was in when the show first started, so there was a relatedness.
Right.
I liked the way that it contrasted with the batshit insanity of Jack and Karen, who for me were always the stars of the show and the ones that I worshipped. In fact, as a stand-up comic, I would say that my act is very inspired by the character of Karen Walker, played brilliantly by Megan Mullally, regardless of hair color.
Yeah, right. She at some point during the series, I mean, she just ends up stealing the show. I mean, as Jack had his moments, but they were the comedy relief, you know, within this sitcom. They were Will and Grace ultimately become like the straight man, if you will. No pun intended for at all. Though Will was actually, it was, you know, a straight actor.
So there's another female in addition to Grace?
Me.
Yeah.
Oh, Karen, yes, of course. Sorry.
Karen.
Yeah.
Karen, yes.
Yeah.
We got a
So
Karen.
may I say something else?
Oh, please say more.
So I'll say two things. So in a bit of stunt casting, what we've done tonight is bring in a very well-trained and really brilliant actor in Jason Thompson, who's never seen the show and doesn't like sitcoms.
Yeah, he grew up without television, I understand.
Yes. So
In a Hutterite village on the prairies of Alberta.
I think that you kind of counterbalance my over-enthusiasm, and so thank you for that.
Okay.
Yes. And another thing that I'd love to say about Will and Grace is that we chose tonight not to do the first episode of the reboot, but I actually think that of all the seasons, the first season of the reboot was the most daring and the most brilliant.
Yeah.
And it was the one where the producers obviously said, this really is called Will and Grace, but it is the Jack and Karen show. And what they corrected versus the original run is that, at least to me, and I'd like to know what you think.
Okay, please.
It really kind of, the show seemed to admit to itself that Will and Grace were kind of broken and enabling each other in their loneliness and their fear of love and their neurosis about it.
Mm-hmm.
I really was uncomfortable with the original run's over-adoring treatment of the fag-hag relationship. That was a common cultural motif in the late 1990s.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems to have disappeared a bit, and I'm very glad because I don't really love that type of enablement unless it's for laughs. And that to me is one of the reasons why that first season of the reboot is one of the best seasons of any television show ever.
Wow, that's an essay right there. That's a doctoral thesis.
Is that
It's a great intro.
Yeah,
Is that
yeah.
right?
Good
No,
night.
good.
Thank you very much for joining us. That's all you need to know tonight. We don't even need to read the script.
Nope.
Just go watch the episode 11 years later.
Was that too
Season 9.
serious? I'll lighten it up.
Yeah. We're
You know
going to
what-
attempt some comedy. We're going to attempt some comedy here, and no, that is brilliant. Listen, this is also being looked through the lens, all right, of a maybe a progressive X generation rising, but a whole mature generation of older folks that are still watching television, who are not socially adapted to equality. With thinking. I mean, there was at this time. Let's not forget, Ellen had just been fired from a show because she came out as gay, right?
Yes.
So I mean, this is very dangerous times to be gay. Like the whole people's careers and lives were ruined. You could be fired from jobs, and it was somewhat socially acceptable. But there was an undercurrent of like pushback, and I think this show really opens the door for that social integration, that we're all just people and we live in these lives and we do things and we have so much in common and commonality that it's like, oh, you were 46 chromosomes as am I, and we're all just living in this.
Gay.
Yeah. We're all just a little bit gay. We're all just a little bit. I'm like at least 20% gay, you know. And you give me a couple drinks, that ramps up pretty fast.
I have,
To
an-
80%?
I have an extra chromosome, so I'm gay, but I'm also mongoloid.
Oh,
Whoa, don't give him any drinks.
wow.
Is that term still acceptable?
Yeah,
It
you
never was.
was.
How dare you?
How dareth you say such things?
But you're absolutely right. It's funny, when I speak to 20-somethings about Madonna, for example, they didn't know that before she came onto the scene, no one ever talked about abortion or birth control or AIDS on television. And in a very similar way, for young people, it's really impossible for them to fathom the extent to which the very innocent G-rated themes presented in Will and Grace never were on television.
No.
I mean, they were hinted at in that one episode of the Mary Tyler Moore Show, but otherwise, nothing.
No, very taboo by and large. I wonder if All in the Family hit that.
There was a transvestite as they were
like the
discussed
Bundys
on
did.
All in the Family.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. Do people use that
Unmarried
word anymore,
children?
transvestite?
Well, no, because it's been taken out of the DSM, but I vote that we bring it back.
Okay.
Yeah, what about,
Married with
Susie
children.
brought up Married with Children. I wonder if that was, they must have flirted with that.
No. Peg she was actually a woman biologically. She just
Oh,
looked
she
like
was?
a man.
Oh,
Eh.
I was talking about.
What were you talking
abortion,
about?
The talk about abortion or.
Oh, they did.
sex.
Right.
Not trannies,
no.
not
No.
Peg.
No.
Although.
Oh, now I get it. Peggy.
Although.
So Peggy.
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 Ah.
Well, let's dig a little bit into this. We're about to read this episode here, and we have the principal characters, of course, Will and Grace. Will, Grace, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Present.
yeah. Karen. And there's like what you know about your characters. Yeah, I'd like to share it because some of it is going to be like brought up in. I'm just kind of curious what you're thinking your character is, and then Jack. And I will just open this. Jack, who I attempted, I didn't have a sweater vest, so I just pulled off the tie in a sweater just in compliments to him because we had a similar fashion style in the 90s. In fact, I was rocking a sweater vest pretty much until 2010, and with a tie. But Jack, very light, flamboyant, comedy relief, bubbly, over the top, doesn't have any sense of other people's space, is a little bit oblivious to his own self at times, often, in fact, all the time, and provides a lot of comedy relief. And maybe we should have started with Will and Grace as being the principal characters, but it's kind of like a little bit what I'm looking for if you know anything about your characters. Now, Jason, you've not watched the show, you don't know the show,
No, I
but
watched.
what do you think Will and who Will might be?
He's Eric McCormick, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I watched at least 3/4 of an episode last night on YouTube,
Okay.
so I'm not completely unfamiliar with it.
Okay.
But yeah, just surface, and I knew of its reputation.
Okay. So, what do you
So,
know about the
so-
character? What do you?
Oh,
what?
he-
Yeah.
I know nothing about the character. Is he pretending to? Is it like
No.
Jack Tripper?
No.
Three's
He-
Company.
He's complete. He's gay.
totally gay, just played by a straight man.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all I know. What does he do? What's his job?
That's all anyone knew for the first run of the show, so that's
Yeah.
great.
Okay.
Will was a lawyer,
Okay.
and then
Yeah.
in the reboot became a professor at Columbia University.
Oh.
Your old alma mater, no?
No, NYU.
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 Right.
Right. I did not know
And
that. I didn't see season 9. Go on.
and Susie, who I also harassed and manipulated into being here tonight. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry, except that I'm not, because you're perfect. You're
Yes.
absolutely
I
perfect.
didn't wear my wig, but next time.
That's okay. You
No.
look great.
No, you do. You
look
look the
amazing.
part. I'd cast you now.
Yeah. Have you
I
had an
cast her
opportunity to watch a show or?
I watched the bloopers.
And
I loved him.
okay.
Perfect.
Do you like your character?
Yes.
Okay. And I will say something about Karen in just a moment, but I forgot my Karen jacket.
Oh, hey, we've lost our co-host
You
here.
haven't lost me.
We haven't. He's not lost.
Found the coat in the lost and found.
Ah, yes, yes. Uh-huh.
Hey, Poodle, how you doing? So Karen Walker, yes.
Yes?
You are one suave motherfucker.
Snazzacudo there, I say.
I stole this from the Salvation Army. It's my
Yeah.
favorite jacket.
It's beautiful.
Yes.
And I was allowed to steal it. I was, what's the word that you like to use to describe how I was? A derelict, yes. All right, so Karen Walker, sometimes known in the occasional Upper East Side bar as Anastasia Beaverhausen, came from a very, very poor background and had an extremely manipulative grifter of a mother who in the show was played occasionally by Suzanne Plachette.
She's great.
Her combination of self-made moxie, shamelessness, and attention to both debauchery and glamour gives her a backstory identical to that of Henson Studios' Miss Piggy. And Miss Piggy was another tremendous inspiration to me. One of my favorite actors.
Yeah, let's be
And
honest.
so that's what we know about Karen. The thing that's interesting about the show is that, although we don't like to admit it, Jack and Grace's orientation to reality was probably more effective than Will and Grace's, and that's where much of the comedy came from.
I think we'll probably dive in and find out some more.
Yes.
Shall we? Okay, we'll just start off. So this is what we'll do is we'll switch off maybe on reading the script notes, but which will be fun. We'll just start off here with the as we were the table read. We'll start off with Will and Grace pilot episode number 100. By the way, so when sitcoms are written, they usually start off with 100. That's season 1.
Yes.
The pilot is 00. And then episode 1, you'd count up. Season 9 would be 900, right? In 1.
Kristian, are we on the page that's topped Act 1, Scene A?
Well, I'm just going to quickly read the cast.
Okay. Cool.
Okay. So, Will Truman, Eric McCormick, Grace Adler, Deborah Messing, Karen Walker, Megan Mullally, Jack McFarland is Sean Patrick Hayes. I think they go by Sean P. Hayes. And then Charlie Higgins, Cress Williams. And then there's a number of other guest cast members, which there's about 12 of them here. We'll just read them as they come along, but we'll skip along past that.
Gino.
Yeah. By the way, in the script there is Gino, patron 1, gay man 1, gay man 2.
I love it.
Well, we have
Perfect for
we have
Halloween.
like 100 we have 100 live studio audience members that we can pull from to play those roles.
That's true.
User.
So, let's begin. Act 1, Scene A. We
All right.
fade in. Interior, Will's apartment, late night. Will Truman is in bed on the phone.
What are you doing?
Split screen, interior of Grace's apartment, same time, Grace Adler, slumbering man. Grace Adler, 30, adorable, neurotic, happening New York chick, is also in bed on the phone.
Ooh,
There you are.
I'm in bed.
Come over.
Will, I can't.
Come on. Grace. You know you want to.
Of course I want to, but
It'll be a good one. I can feel it.
it's always good. Still,
Well, if you're not going to come over, you want me to talk you through it?
Will, I can't watch ER here.
So, it's just another night alone with my clicker.
Is that what the kids are calling it?
Ben?
So I went back to the sale.
Did you get the black flowy thing?
Nah, you were right. It's too Stevie Nicks, the heavy years.
Eric LaSalle just smiled.
Really?
No. Did you buy anything?
Yeah, I got a great camisole.
Sexy.
Just then, the arm of a slumbering man reaches around Grace. We hear him groan and shift positions.
Effective.
What was that?
Oh, just a man on my bed. Jealous.
Honey, I don't need your man. I've got George Clooney.
Sorry, babe. He's not batting for your team.
No, he hasn't seen me pitch.
Okay, that's where we say goodbye.
Good night.
Good night.
They hang up the phone as we cut to Act 1, Scene B. Interior, Grace Adler Designs. The next morning, Will and Grace. We are in a Tribeca loft that serves as the office of Grace's interior design company, Grace Adler Designs. Grace holds up a pair of furniture feet, quote, in the shape of eagle talons for Will to assess.
And I want to use these on the love seat in their library. Do you like them?
I like him.
Lying man talking.
Grace, I like him. They say I'm a comfy chair, but I'll rip your flesh off. But I don't like him.
Well, you're wrong. Post-Empire is very hot right now. Jackie used them in the blue room.
I didn't know that. We are talking about Jackie Stallone, right?
I don't know if you
Oh,
say Grace.
yeah. Grace gives the claws another hard look.
Why are you always right?
Honey, one of the perks of being gay is a keen design sense. It's in the contract.
Goodbye. I'll see you tonight at poker.
Will exits. Grace looks at the talons. Then
You'd think he'd like something with balls.
Grace
Balls and bells.
Grace drops them and walks off as we cut to Act 1, Scene C. Interior, Will's apartment. That night, Will, Jack McFarland, Rob, Jorgen, and Grace. We're in the living room of Will's spacious, well-appointed apartment. Well-appointed apartment. The poker game is in full swing. The other three players are Jack McFarland, Will's longtime buddy, really loyal, really grating, really gay. Rob, Will's straight friend, and Jorgen, Franz Bleu, another guy. Will?
It's to you, Jack.
Give me a minute, please. Jack, someone want to take this?
Jack starts arranging his cards a la Judy Holliday in Born Yesterday. As he does this, he sings the Stephen Eady standard, A Room Without Windows. His poker buddies are not enjoying his performance.
A room without windows, a room without doors.
It's to you, Jack.
Give me a minute, please. A room where no guy but I can spy the charms that... no, it's going to... I'm not going to risk it. 4 cards, please.
Jack discards 4 cards. They hate him.
Here's my ace.
Jack, now that you're moving in, can I make one small request?
What's that?
Change.
Nice.
So this is the moment where we need a volunteer from the audience named Jake to come help us.
Yeah. All right.
So all you have to do is read for Rob.
What am I? I'm
You're
just
Rob.
a dude sitting at a poker table?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you didn't tell me Jack was moving in with you. 2, please?
He's not.
Oh,
moving
he's.
in.
Okay, I got it. Sorry.
Yeah, that's great.
He's not moving in. He's staying with me until his apartment's finished.
Jack mistakenly humming the song Q. Oh, I know that one. Did he need a stronger hand? Did he?
Jack, he's not humming your intro, okay? He's asking if we could ever be a couple.
First of all, Will should only be so lucky. Second of all, you don't even know me that well. Why would you just assume that I was gay?
The guys at the poker table chuckle.
Excuse me, most people I meet do not know that I'm gay.
Again, they chuckle.
Jack, Cameroonian bush people know you're gay.
Go ahead.
I'll do Jurgen. Can we play poker?
1, 2, 3. Yes.
Who's it?
I'm in for 10.
At that moment, the door opens up and Grace enters, crying. Everybody stops and looks.
I'm fine.
Grace?
Keep playing.
Did you and Danny have a fight?
Yeah, but I don't want to talk about it right now. I can't even think straight. What, we're playing? Kings, 44, deuces wild?
Yeah. All that
Yeah.
I'm in for 30.
Grace pulls a couple of bills from her bra and takes Will's empty seat.
Grace, did you know that I was gay when you met me?
My dog knew.
Off Will's smile, we cut to... Do you want to take it from here, Kristian?
Sure. Interior Will's apartment later that night. Will, Grace, and Jack, guapo. Will and Grace are cleaning up after the poker game. Grace?
So none of the fabrics came in, and I wasn't able to make the presentation. Diamond Interiors got the job.
I'm sorry. What a disappointment.
Thank you. See, that's all I wanted to hear. But Danny said, well, when you put everything off to the last minute.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I lost it. I'm screaming. Why can't you just let me have my feelings?
Oh, Grace. That's so Barbara DeAngelis, making love work.
I know, wasn't it? And then he says, get this. You don't need to get hysterical. You sound just like your mother.
Bad.
Yeah, can you believe that, Will?
Go wash your face. I'll make up your bed.
Grace
Great.
exits into the bathroom. Grace, do you want to do that from here, or do you want me to do it? Like the directions?
Yeah. Well, Jack's coming up. Go ahead, continue.
Okay, so Grace exits into the bathroom.
You sound just like your mother. What kind of person says that?
The kind of person you should have dumped a year ago.
What?
I said, I'm thinking of getting a cat.
Uh-oh. Where did we go? What page are we on? Oh, my computer went glitchy-witchy. 21?
Yeah.
Hey,
This is
roommate.
upset?
Go down.
14.
Here you
14.
go.
Here it is.
There you are.
Okay. I'm thinking again. I mean, if you really want to push someone's buttons, tell them they sound like their mother.
Will continues to straighten up as Jack enters, carrying matching Louis Vuitton garment bag, suitcase, hat box, and a bird cage with a live harlequin macaw named Guapo.
Hey, roomie.
Oh no. Jack, you can't move in tonight.
What?
Grace is upset. I told her she could stay here tonight. You move in tomorrow.
Oh, that's interesting. You think maybe you could have told me this? I didn't know. I don't know. Before I packed up my entire life.
Jack, you didn't understand. She's having a very bad... What's in the hat box? Your tiara?
Shut up, Will. I slept all the way here from the east side. You know how much Guapo hates taxis?
Easy, Jack. You sound just like your mother.
Crossing the line. You nasty, lonely, bitter, balding man. I don't need this crap from you, Will. I just don't need it. What time tomorrow?
Sorry,
Couldn't
technical
preview
difficulties.
file. There was a problem loading this page.
What page?
Hard copy.
Hard
16.
copy. I guess I'll follow.
Yeah,
16?
yeah, 16. Will says
Well,
8-ish.
I don't know.
8-ish.
Fine.
Jack exits. Grace re-enters from the bathroom, flossing her teeth.
You love torturing him, don't you?
I can't help it. It's a sickness.
Will crosses into the kitchen as we cut to...
Act 1, Scene E, Interior, Truman and Higgins. The next morning, Will, Charlie Higgins, Harlan Polk, Madge Crum, assistant,
The handsome, clubby law office of Truman and Higgins, a small firm specializing in corporate law, run by Will and his partner, Charlie Higgins. Charlie and Bill are sitting at a round table with Harlan Polk, a Texas businessman.
Now, I have to be honest with you, Mr. Polk. Our little firm here has never represented a major sports franchise. Why us?
Because you two are fabulous, fabulous lawyers. Oh, what the hell, I'm going to throw in another fabulous.
Or is it that you need us to help solve your little PR problem?
What PR problem?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe your boss comment following up the Chicago game where he said, quote, "Our darkies are better than your darkies."
Now that quote was taken out of context.
What about the time she said her team was playing like a bunch of fairies?
Yeah, I spoke to her about that, and she swore to me that she was talking about actual, real-life fairies.
Oh, well, I feel a lot better now.
Look, Mr. Polk, I don't see how we can work for Madge Kern.
You're going to meet her, and you're going to feel differently. I guarantee it. Just then, Madge Crum, a rough-edged, foul-mouthed bulldog of a woman, enters. She's smoking a cigarette. To the audience, we're just going to tape this we're just going to,
Take it for the team, if you will.
You're out of toilet paper. And where the hell's an ashtray?
Madge, I'd like you to meet Will Truman and Charlie Higgins, two of the finest corporate lawyers.
I don't need any more lawyers. I got lawyers coming with my keister. I need a black and a fruit.
You're even lovelier than I thought you'd be.
Hey, save it, Bruce. I'm a girl. Here's the deal. Come opening day, I need you two to fly down to the stadium, pose for some pictures, meet the board of directors, and, hippity-hoppity-doo.
Miss Crum?
I'll give you $50,000 on retainer. You think it over? And we'll be back to sign papers by the end of the week. Put it in gear, Harlan. My ass is falling asleep.
Madge Crum gets up and exits. Harlan Polk gets up, flashes Will and Charlie a thumbs up, and exits.
Did that just happen?
$50,000.
Yeah, that's a lot of hippity-hoppity-doo. But does she really think she can fix her image by hiring a black guy and a gay guy?
You're gay?
Sound effect of an intercom buzzer. The office assistant's voice comes over the intercom.
Bzzz. Assistant. Yeah. Well, it's Grace on line 1.
Hey.
Act 1, scene H, interior, Adler Designs. Seconds later, morning. Grace, Karen Walker, and Will. Grace is on the speakerphone with Will, searching through a messy desk while she talks. Grace.
Can I stay at your place again tonight?
Of course. Stay as long as you want. What are you doing?
Looking for tissues.
I have your assistant get them for you.
She's not here yet.
Fire her already.
I'm not going to fire Karen. Her social life keeps business afloat.
Why does she even work? She's worth $1 gazillion.
She feels like working keeps her down to earth.
At that moment, Grace's diva-like assistant, Karen Walker, enters. Karen.
I know, I'm late. I'm a bad assistant, I should be punished. I'm writing you a check.
Karen reaches into her purse and begins to write out a check.
Karen, tell Grace she should fire you.
Grace, tell Will to redirect his anger at his mother where it belongs.
Call me later. Oh,
Call
sorry.
Call me later.
Bye.
He hangs up. It wasn't my fault. The driver had another bronchial incident. We had to pull over for 25 minutes so I could watch him wheeze. It was disgusting. I had to close the partition. Here.
I don't want a check from you. I'm the boss. I write you checks.
Yes, you do. And I love them.
She pulls out a wad of uncashed checks out of her desk drawer.
I keep them all in this drawer. I really enjoyed the Flags of the Nation series. I really learned something. So, what else?
Danny and I got into a fight.
Well, call him and make up.
Why would I do that? It wasn't my fault.
In the long run, it doesn't matter.
I don't know that there's going to be a long run.
Grace, you're what? 40?
I'll be 31 next month.
So I rounded up.
Danny's a good catch. You've been living together for a year. Close the deal already. Sound effects, the phone rings.
Karen pays no attention.
I'm serious, Grace. Pick up the pace.
I'm serious, Karen. Pick up the phone.
Karen remembers to do her job. As we cut to Act 1, Scene J, interior, Will's apartment. That night, Will, Grace, Rob, Ellen, Jack, Guapo. Will and Grace are at the dining room table with Rob and his wife, Ellen. They just finished dinner. Go ahead, Ellen.
So, Will, have you seen Michael since the two of you broke up?
No, he hasn't, but I have. Michael is not doing very well. He got fat. He's depressed. Cheap haircut. It's not good. It's actually sad.
Robin, what are you talking about? He looks great, like hot, hot, hot.
Rob, you're dismissed.
Schmuck.
Thank you for trying, sweetie.
His haircut really was awful.
You know what? Let's play $25,000 pyramid.
All ad lib.
Yes.
I moved to the living room. Rob, Will, Will, I was just kidding. He really did look bad. And his new boyfriend is a bore.
New boyfriend?
Schmuck. So, Will, are you going to keep this place?
I was worried it was going to be too expensive, but I told Jack he could... Oh no!
Just then the door opens and Jack enters with his luggage and Guapo. He's wearing a bandana. All smiles. Hi, honey, I'm home! Are we entertaining?
Jack puts down his bags.
Jack, I meant to call you today.
Don't even.
Wait, I can stay at Rob and Ellen's tonight.
No, you can't. Grace, because you matter. How about that?
Jack, I am so sorry. Are bandanas in now? Because I didn't get the memo.
Jack begins to recollect his things. Just let me tell you something, Will Truman. I don't need to live here, and who loses? Hello, you do! Because I could have turned you into a human being instead of the rude, self-absorbed, getting chunkier everyday thing that you are.
Jack grabs a piece of candy and storms out of the apartment. After a beat,
Okay, let's play the pyramid.
you two first.
You give, I'll receive.
Just as God intended it.
Ellen mans the stopwatch. Rob hands Will his cards.
Ellen, your timing, okay, here's the first subject, go.
Okay, your parents' marriage.
Things that are dead.
Right. My one-night stand on Fire Island.
Latin things.
Good. The postcard I sent you from Italy. Everybody Hurts by R.E.M.
Things that make you cry.
Yes. Okay, Professor Gobnick's teeth.
Things that are yellow.
Yep. Ooh, a cane. A railing.
Give me another clue.
Each other.
Oh, things you lean on.
That's it.
Wow, that was amazing. Grace, you and Danny never do this. Well, I'm starting over. Wow, that was amazing. Grace, you and Danny never do this well when we play.
I know. I'm gonna break up with them.
Maybe Yahtzee is his game.
Schmuck, she's serious.
You know, I really don't like it when you call me schmuck.
Here's a thought, then stop acting like a schmuck.
I just feel like it's time. I think our relationship has reached a fork in the road, and ending it with Danny is the right prong.
Grace exits into the bedroom. There is an awkward silence. Rob and Elaine look to Will. Will?
Things that bring a dinner party to a crashing halt.
Off Will's shrug, we cut to Act 1, Scene K. Interior, Truman and Higgins. The next day, Will. Will is at his desk on the phone. Will.
How'd it go?
Split screen with Grace's office. Interior, same time. Grace is on the phone.
Not like I thought.
Really? It was messy?
Actually, it was kind of beautiful. He proposed.
Will makes a silent face of pure agony, and then...
Well, ain't that a kick in the head?
End of Act 1. We fade out. Act 2, Scene L. Fade in. Interior, Grace Adler designs. Later that day, Grace, Karen, Gino. There is a big, overstuffed chair sitting on top of the drafting table. Gino, the builder, is sitting at the chair, while Grace assesses his work. Karen looks on. Grace?
No, no, no. What is this overstuffed bigness? We discussed this. I wanted something more delicate. I wanted Louis the 14th. You brought me Louis Anderson.
Is a good... I can't, Gino.
Is a good chair.
It's a huge client-eating monster. Please take it back and bring me what I asked for.
Okay, Miss Grace. You the boss. I make new chair. Gino begins his cross.
Don't feel bad, Gino. I'm only hard on the people I love.
Oh, you love me a lot, Miss Grace. Gino grabs the chair and exits.
You know, you're amazing, Grace. Hey, amazing Grace, look at that. I wasn't even trying to be clever. Sometimes I say things and...
Wait, you're complimenting me? Go back to that.
Oh yeah, I'm always impressed with you, honey. I always have been, I mean it. You're not like the women I know. You're strong. You're decisive.
You know, Care, I've learned you have to be strong and decisive to get anywhere. So what am I gonna do about Danny?
You're gonna say yes. You're gonna get married, and you're gonna live happily-ish ever after.
Why-ish?
Get separate bathrooms. There'll be no ish.
Were you this ambivalent when you got engaged?
Well, sure. Sort of.
I mean, before the prenup.
Oh, definitely.
Off Grace's smile, we cut to Act 2, Scene M. Interior, Will's apartment. That night, Will and Jack.
Will is busy making dinner for Jack, who doesn't lift a finger while Will waits on him. Jack eats heartily throughout.
So, what am I going to do about Grace?
Oh, what's the big deal? Can I get a little more gravy? You don't like Danny. Just tell her that it's a bad idea.
I don't tell people who to marry.
Oh, you always tell people what you think of the men I date.
I'm talking about marriage, not Rudy, the Jewish cowboy you met on the internet.
Shalom, my lonesome prairie dog. Look, she's your best friend. You have to tell her what you think.
I can't.
You're not going to try and stop her from marrying Signor Florashim?
You mean Danny?
I don't see the man. I just see the offensive footwear.
Before my brother married Ginny, he asked me what I honestly thought of her, so I told him. She's morose and controlling and icy. Well, they ended up getting married. She hates me, and now my brother and I don't talk. I couldn't handle a loss like that again.
You know, I'm going to call Rudy again. But, more importantly, that's terrible about you and your brother. It's so... Do you have any white wine?
Will pours him some white wine.
So, when are you moving in?
I'm going to be away on business for a little while. And...
What business?
Business. I have business and clients and work-related, business.
Really? How is the work-related client business these days?
Why do you have to be so mean?
Because you love it, and I love you. And you have a home here when you come back.
You see, you're a great guy when you want to be.
I need to be better to you.
Yes, you do.
Because you're a good friend.
Yes, I am.
It's got to be rough for you.
Will, don't.
Being trapped in a man's body like that.
A room without windows.
Off Jack singing, we cut to Act 2, Scene P. Interior,
Will's apartment later that night with Will and Grace. Will sits in his apartment watching pop-up video. Grace enters.
Hi, what are you watching?
A pop-up video. Turns out Fiona Apple doesn't particularly like apples. And Apple Brown Betty was invented by a man named Darren. I mean, how freaky is that?
I said yes.
What?
I said yes.
Oh my God, oh my God! Come here, let me see that ring.
Grace holds her hand up for Will to inspect.
It's beautiful. When's the stone being put in?
I knew you were gonna say that. Look, funny man, I just came for your blessing. Do I have your blessing?
No. Yes.
I love you. Oh, do you believe it? I'm finally getting married.
She crosses to exit.
Okay, I can't stay. I've got to go tell my family. I feel bad for my mom. It's gonna kill her to see me happy like this.
As Grace reaches for the doorknob,
Gracie, wait! I can't give you my blessing. I think marrying this guy is the biggest mistake you could ever make.
What?
I have to be honest. He's not enough for you. You're passionate and you're creative and beautiful and perfect. You could be with someone else. He isn't funny. He doesn't know what your favorite flower is. He's passive-aggressive. The man high-fives you after sex. You're so afraid that you're never going to get married, you can't even see how wrong he is for you. Think about it, Grace. If you really believe that he was the one, would you be asking me for my blessing?
Well, that was honest. Go to hell, Will.
Grace exit. Will throws his face into his hands as we cut to... Do you want to take it?
Yeah, Act 2, Scene R. Interior, Truman and Hagen's 1 week later, morning, Will, Charlie, Harlan, Polk, Madge, Crumb. Charlie is trying out a speech on Will. Is that Charlie?
You're Charlie.
'Cause I don't care how rich you are, Miss Crumb. Oh, sorry, he's one of the lawyers. I don't care how rich you are, Miss Crumb. I'm not a solution to your image problem. I'm a man. Treat me as such.
It's a little too Sidney Poitier.
How about, can you take this job and stick it where the sun don't shine, woman?
Too Red Fox.
Why don't you come up with something instead of obsessing about Grace?
I'm sorry, it's just, I feel like she's slipping out of my life and there's nothing I can do about it.
Sympathy, crying inside. What are we gonna tell this witch?
Just then Harlan pokes his head inside. Hey fellas, you decent?
I guess we're winging it. Come on in.
Oh. Hello, ladies. Where are the contracts? I've got a burrito cooking in my gut and a crossword puzzle with my name on it, so let's get to it.
Ms. Crumb, we were just talking, we're not talking you on... blah, 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 Ms. Crumb, I've got crumbs in my mouth. Ms. Crumb, we're not taking you on as a client.
And for the record, I have to be honest with you.
Stop right there. I know where you're going, and let me give you rookies a little bit of advice. It's like this. Train's leaving the station, with or without you. Now you can get on it, build your business, and become players, or you can sit in the station with your honesty and your principles and end up with nothing.
Oh my God, she's right! Gracie's leaving the station. I've got to get on that train.
Ride that train!
Madge! You're a pig! Thank you!
Will rushes out the door. Elated, everyone is stunned, silent. Charlie, you know, technically, we can bill you for this hour. Off the awkward tableau, we cut to Act 2, Scene S. Interior, Grace Adler Designs. Later that morning, Will, Karen, Grace. Karen is on the phone. Karen?
No, Rosario. Por favor. Por favor. No, listen to me for a second. Take Olivia Mason to Ala Store de los Toyos. F-A-O Schwartz O. Si, gracias, Rosario. Hola.
She hangs up, Will enters.
I'm not supposed to say.
Where's Grace?
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Where's Grace?
I'm not supposed to say.
I have to see her. Where is she?
Stop, because I can't tell you anything. It's a secret.
What is?
She's at City Hall getting married.
What? What about the wedding?
She thought it was best to get married quickly. Not a big to-do. And I say, brava.
Grace!
Just then, Will notices Grace. Yeah, okay. Off camera. Grace. Grace walks into the office. She's wearing a wedding dress to Will.
Thank you for ruining my life.
No, I came here to get on the Grace train.
What the hell is a Grace train?
Honey, did you get the bubble bath I sent you?
I did not.
I'm gonna kill that Rosario.
You dropped this bomb on me. You had to come and poison my... with the thorn from the flower. You know, I had this metaphor worked out earlier, but I'm upset right now.
Grace, I just want you to be happy.
No, you want me to be alone like you are.
Oh, is that the way you see it? Because I never thought of myself as being alone.
Will exits. Karen.
Ooh, honey, that was a little harsh.
He deserved it.
Uh-huh. Yes, he did. He's a bad person. Very bad. Grace, let me get you a couple of blue bippies while I impart a little wisdom here.
Karen shakes a bottle of medication. She doesn't notice Grace entering into the bathroom.
Look, marriage is what? Marriage is. There, that's it. That's all you need to know.
Karen turns to find that Grace is gone. She's been talking to herself.
Grace! She's gone. She's gone. And I'm sitting here talking to myself like a crazy person. Listen to me. I'm still doing it. Why am I saying, listen to me? Who's listening? Okay, stop. Rosario, talk to me!
She picks up the phone as we cut to Act 2, Scene T, interior, Truman and Higgins. That night, Will and Grace. Will is sitting at his desk, eating a sandwich. Grace enters. Grace?
What are you eating?
Oh, just a sandwich from the cart.
I don't know why you eat those gross mystery meat things. Do you even know what kind of animal you're eating?
No, but because I'm a regular, the guy gives me extra hoof and beak for free.
Ew. Well, I'm so sorry about what I said.
I
Grace-
know. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I know. It was mean, but I know.
This morning, Danny looked at me and said, I can't wait to spend the rest of my life with you. And I looked back at him and said, hey, look, the limo has a phone. Oh.
Will takes her hand. He's all ears.
I just threw away a life with a smart, attractive man who loved me. And who I loved, by the way. It wasn't right. Why wasn't it right?
Sweetie, remember in college we saw that French film about a man and a woman who were perfect for each other but kept missing each other? And in the last scene, they meet on a plane because it was destined to be that way? Remember you said, that's gonna be me? Gracie, you're just in the middle of your movie. Go get some Raisinets.
I like red vines.
Whatever you want. It's not over. Your movie has a happy ending. I know it. You just have to see it through.
Grace looks up at Will. He kisses her sweetly. Will.
Come on. Let's go get a drink.
Then they take hands and start to the exit. Will continues.
What's with the dress?
Give me a break. I had 5 minutes to prepare for this.
Still.
Will and Grace exit. Cut to Act 2, Scene W, interior bar. Later that night, Will, Grace, Patron 1, Gay Man 1, and 2, a Manhattanite's staff. Will and Grace are in the crowded bar, surrounded by spirited Manhattanites. Patron 1 is amongst them. Will passes around. Go ahead. What about a toast to the lovely bride?
Oh yes, my bride. Here's to the ball and chain. If she makes it through tonight, ba-bing! I think I'll keep her.
The bar erupts.
Wait, it's my turn. To my Will, you're my soulmate and my hero. I'm a better woman for loving you.
Aww. The bark of like lovely Oz. 2 gay men who sit at the end of the bar.
Can I be gay man 1?
Aren't you?
I've been waiting for you to say that for a year.
I give it 6 months.
If that, he's ogling every other woman in the bar.
Macho pig.
Back to Will and Grace. Page 1. How about a kiss for the bride?
How about it, baby?
Will grabs the bride and kisses her, and the bar crowd goes wild. Yeah.
Better than you thought, huh?
Will's raised eyebrow. Off Will's raised eyebrow, we cut to. Act 2, Scene X. Interior, Will's building, hallway. Later that night, Will and Grace walk arm in arm down the hallway. They stop at Will's apartment. They're a little drunk. Grace?
What if we get sick of each other?
Why would we get sick of each other? We like all the same foods. We're a perfect couple. And you don't even have to put up. Come on, live with me.
Okay.
Will opens the door. Grace starts to enter.
Wait.
Will picks the bride up, carries her into the apartment. Okay, interior, Will and Grace's apartment. Continuous, Will, Grace, Jack, Guapo. Will walks into the apartment and puts Grace down. Will.
Welcome home, Gracie.
They hug, and while they're hugging, Jack enters in a Hawaiian shirt and a lei. He carrying with him his bird and baggage. He takes one look, I sound like I'm off to the races, takes one look at the scene and shakes his head. Oh, forget it.
Jack picks up his thing and exits as we fade out.
End of show.
Oh, that's it? Ta-da!
Wow.
Bravo.
Wow.
That was my first time.
That
Yeah.
was great. You did great.
Great, everyone.
Well, did
Fantastic.
Karen, hats off to Karen.
Yeah.
I have to
Way
take
to
my
go,
hat
Karen.
off? Is that what you're saying?
Good work, Karen. How do you guys feel about that first time table read? We should go to the audience for a response. We had a round of applause.
Dress rehearsal.
Yes. This is the dress rehearsal. We should.
I got dressed.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, I'm, so here's the thing.
Okay.
First of all, I am now convinced, because I haven't touched this material in a long time, I'm convinced that Grace is a lesbian and Will is straight. Absolutely, positively convinced. But, talking about tonight's performance, it's such a testimony to your talent and to the brilliant writing that even though you have minimal, if any, exposure to the show, you were Will and Grace. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm not saying that you impersonated the actors who played them, but like you embodied them in many similar ways instinctively. So it was lots of fun and a great honor to do this with you. Because I've actually never seen you act.
And you haven't
Now
yet.
I have now. Yes, well, yes I have. And you too. You too.
Thanks.
You
I really like
got-
that Madge lady.
You really got the
You
melancholy.
read really well.
I was
Yes.
about to say
I
that.
can read.
You really got Grace's I'm sorry, I'm talking like it's one of those Hollywood Reporter roundtables. I'm really sorry. You really got Grace's melancholy and exhaustion,
Oh yeah.
but you also got
You nailed the exhaustion.
That's how I feel, baby.
but what was the name of that rough character?
Madge Crumb?
Yeah.
Or something?
Yeah,
Was
Madge
that
Crumb.
right? Was it Crumb?
Yeah, K-R-U-M.
The dominating,
I like
ruthless
that
certainty.
lady.
That was a great character for you. Did
Yeah.
you like playing
Yeah, I
that?
like that one. That was fun.
Yeah,
And you were amazing.
I was okay. It was my first time
So
playing
gay.
Sean. So gay.
You're very proud of your gay.
I know.
gayness.
I know.
How does
I
it
was
feel
pull-
playing-
I was pulling my 20% out, you know? I give it 100%
Well,
with my
you pulled
20%.
out, so.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, this show was written by David Cohen and Max Muchnick.
Jews.
Yes. Yes, and directed by James Burrows. This is.
Is James Burrows the same? Is that the same? That's from the Mary Tyler Moore Show.
I was wondering about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, James Burrows was on the Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Very likely. Yeah.
Which is strange because this could be, you could imagine this one episode, not series, but as a prequel to the Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Yeah. Yeah. It is.
That's weird.
It's a single person.
Getting
well,
to-
yeah,
yeah.
getting getting their life together.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what Mary Tyler Moore was. Yeah, this felt fun. We really established Will and Grace in the world around them. It's interesting how the secondary characters of the show develops, like Jack and Karen, who really become like tour de forces later on.
And how the other supporting roles got dropped real fast.
Yeah, like for example.
Will's business partner, who was supposed to be a recurring character.
Yeah.
And in the first season, Harlan was supposed to be a major character, but he kept getting phased out progressively throughout season 1, and I think he may have made a reappearance at some point, but he ended up being gone too.
Yeah, because this is really the core, is just those four. That's all you need.
Why?
That straight couple.
Did they
That
drop
straight
in from
couple,
time to time?
They did. They dropped in throughout the whole run.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, bringing defeatedness for the man and anger, sheer New Jersey
Sheer
anger.
New
Ooh, I like
Jersey.
New Jersey.
Christian, why did you
I want a New Jersey
choose?
female.
Why did I chose?
Why did you choose this
This
particular
sweater.
script?
Well, because it came into discussion, just the idea of like, if people did not know Will and Grace, first off, what we discussed, we stepped up to Will and Grace. And again, there was the reboot. Sean was particularly passionate about, and I would like to actually revisit that.
It was a mutual decision, Will and Grace, or more your idea?
Well, here
I think Sean leaned into it heavily because that inspired me,
Okay.
right? So I was like, oh yeah, just that passion for Will and Grace. And at one point he's like, let's do the whole series. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of Will and Grace.
I didn't say the whole
There's
series.
gonna be a
9
lot of gay
years
men,
or
4, 5,
Yeah.
6,
Yeah.
7.
Yeah. So here's the deal. So I'm new to comedy, and I've never really acted, and
But you're rocking it, baby.
But thank you. I really
Rock hard.
wanted to work with Kristian.
Oh.
Partially because you said he was great,
Christian is great.
and so we talked, and the original concept was to
This is
do
vodka.
the original concept was to do the first episode, then then either the last episode of the initial
Yeah.
run or the first episode of the reboot. Kristian and I had a conversation with that about that, and then the last episode. But it was just too much because I had never done this before. Kristian had more experience. Kristian's the one who produced all of this.
But thank you.
Right.
Okay.
So
Gay man
Nicely
4.
done, Christian. Could I suggest that because of your involvement, we do Will and Grace doing a version of Gone with the Wind, and I want to play Maddie.
Oh, well, fair enough. Yes. The cast.
It's
This
gonna
cast.
be a long run.
Well, listen. So a little bit of a background.
Kristian,
gonna
could
be
you tell us
interesting.
what you think of Will and Grace in general?
Well, I can. I'll share a little bit of this. So years ago, in another, just at the turn of the millennia, I went to Humber College and did the comedy writing and performance program. And in there, part of the program was to sit down and write a spec script, to which, you would take a sitcom, right? And the goal was, so you would have a resume. So when you went out to get some work, you could say, hey, listen, boom, I got a couple of spec scripts in my back pocket. I can write for the characters. And we would often do table reads of our scripts, right? As they're developing, we get like show notes. And so the format of that, and we've had like the likes of Ann Beats and I want to say Jimmy Farr.
Did she write on that show?
No. I mean, we had other film and television
As
writers.
guest speakers.
As guest speakers,
Oh,
yeah.
oh, oh.
They were friends of Lauren Frohman's, who is a well-established film and television writer. He worked with, started his career off with some of the SCTV casting, John Candy and Dan Aykroyd. And he'd later get involved in SNL himself, as well as writing on other programs like the Richard Pryor Show was one of his big breaks. And so years later, he brings his family back to Canada after living in LA and starts teaching sitcom writing. And in that process, the journey of writing for characters and understanding their voice is one thing. But to sit down and do the table read, does the show flow, and do the jokes jump off the page? Those are some of the things. And us not being fully familiar with the show, this would be different if we were really on top of understanding fully the characters.
Right.
Yeah, and then there'd be a lot more punch, and we would get the overall gist. But this is a great exercise, both as actors, writers, and readers.
I have a follow-up question for
Yeah.
you. because that's your background, I'd be really interested to know, what do you think of the script, like as an artifact?
Yeah. I mean, this is a great pilot script because it establishes the characters. We know who they are, what they do, the relationship and dynamic, and that's all you need in a pilot episode is to develop that. If it's strong and we already know the dynamic, like Will and Grace are best friends. Jack even mentioned that, you're best friends, right? Who's Jack? He's a guy moving in. We know he's going to be, Grace is not going to be the wacky neighbor. We know the wacky neighbor, which is a sitcom trope, is going to be Jack, right? So we got that comic foil in there. And we see them at work, so we have an idea of what they do. We don't know what Jack does, all right? And we see Grace, and we recognize that Karen is already, she's also the comic foil to Grace. Yeah. So just everybody's got their comedic liege, if you will, and the relationship is to be Will and Grace, but they both have somebody to play off of in the absence of each other.
Right.
Yeah. So I can see the sitcom unfolding from there. When Will's home alone without Grace, I would imagine that Will and Jack will probably have lots of scenes together, right? And when Will's not there, it'll probably be Grace coming in to see Will, but Jack will be there. So this is the dynamic is playing off. And Karen, I actually remember this episode watching it, but Karen doesn't really come into the home for some time. It's always at work, right? For the longest time. Always. But we don't need to see her because just that triplet right there is strong enough. But when we go to the other location, we don't often see Will's office after this. Like after the season, if I'm correct.
They gave him so many jobs. Like he worked for himself. He was working for Gregory Hines for a bit.
Oh, yeah.
And they would show him a lot, like the first 1, 2, or 3 episodes when they would change his job, and then they kept dropping. I don't know if sitcoms just have elements that they keep working on throughout their run and they never get it right, or if it's intentional to always add new. But you're absolutely right. They would show him when they were introducing a new employer, and then gone.
Right. And I wonder, just given like the nature of the show and his Will to being supposed to be a gay character, a gay man, putting him in different places, going, oh, gay people are here. Like this is also spaces where gay men could be lawyers, gay men can be in advertising, gay men can do this. Like it becomes, I don't know, normalizing the idea. Because
Except gay men cannot
Gay men
play
sneeze.
gay characters on network television. Not yet.
Well, it's
But soon.
It's an interesting point because Sean Hayes wasn't out in the show's first season.
Neither was Gregory Hines.
What?
I know.
Hello.
Hello, Frisco.
You guys really are gay.
And may I ask Jason a
please.
question?
Yeah.
So, as someone who
Yes,
as someone who's expressed a passionate loathing for sitcoms,
Yes.
what did it what did it feel
Take
like
it
to
off.
do this?
Well, I have a passionate loathing for sitcoms, watching them, but I have to say they're a lot of fun to read for the reason why they're loathsome to watch. Because of that cliched, snappy dialogue, but it's great. It's great to read aloud because you have to be on top of it, and it's probably, as a result, it's probably an example of very, very, very efficient writing. It's very entertaining. It's punchy, and it's tongue twisty enough that it's actually quite pleasurable to read. So I'm probably.
So I don't have to feel bad.
I'm being snobby. It's just that sitcom. The thing I don't like about sitcoms is network, the restrictions that are placed on them by the networks and Procter and Gamble's and all that sort of stuff. Otherwise, I don't have anything against them, obviously. If there weren't any restraints with regards to censorship, they would be great. But that's really why I don't like them. That's the only reason. Was that coherent?
Yes.
Okay.
And if I may, I'm so sorry, but I'm just really curious. Do you have any?
You've asked this
We chose.
He wants you to be Jewish.
No. I mean, I do think we need to open it up a bit, but
You could be Jewish.
I could be.
you could be. I chose you because of your comedy. And I chose you because of your brilliant play, the one that debuted at this venue this past Friday with Jason.
That was superb.
It was really great. I actually never asked you, like, do you have an acting background? So how did it feel to do this?
Yeah, good question.
Easy, actually.
Fucking amazing.
Wow.
Wow.
It's all the reading I do.
Wow, we got a reader here, folks.
I'm a reader.
Random factoid, Rosario was originally only supposed to be aired in one episode, but proved so popular that she became a regular.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. James Burrows directed every episode of Will and Grace.
Wow.
Huh.
Yeah.
That's the Mary Tyler Moore guy.
Doesn't say here. Big Bang Theory,
I think-
Two Broke
I
Girls,
think a Mary Tyler Moore Show fan just verified
Cheers,
that.
Friends,
Yeah.
Lisa Kudrow's mockumentary series, The Comeback.
Oh,
Yeah. There was various spin-offs proposed before the reboot. I'm just pulling this
She
up.
Was
even
it-
looks
was
a
the-
bit like you, Susie. Jesus. Is that why you cast her? She
No,
does.
I don't look like
Yeah, you look like her.
Maybe with
Yeah.
my
well,
red
part of
wig.
it, well,
Gotta dye my
Oh,
hair
part
she-
of
down.
the
oh,
part
she's
of the
a-
reason that we asked her to do it was that she did kind of look like her.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
With the red
By
wig.
the way, Kristian, question for you.
Answer?
Do you think it's the craziest thing in the world that Nicole Kidman got to play Lucille Ball and Deborah Messing didn't? Until the episode of Will and Grace. Do you guys know this? There was an episode of Will and Grace where every character, each of the four. There was an episode of Will and Grace where each
Yes.
each of the four. Okay. Hi. My memory's a little shoddy, so I'm not sure that I'm getting this right. But there was an episode of Will and Grace where.
Each of them were characters on a loose.
Yes, but did they rotate?
Yes.
Did they rotate the characters?
I just vaguely remember it.
So so Kristian, tell me.
Okay.
Do you agree? I mean, that Deborah Messing should have been Lucille Ball in a full-length movie about the legendary, brilliant LucilleAll? Or do you know?
Yeah, I can see a good argument for that versus Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's Nicole Kidman. I guess that's the end of the conversation. Next.
I saw.
I wish I could be more antagonistic, but I love Nicole Kidman.
I do too, but I saw that film. I didn't think, and I've always liked Lucille Ball. I didn't think. I think Kidman is really good, but she didn't quite seem brassy enough. Maybe Messing would have been. better.
Too
I
honesty,
re-
too
I-
Fair
honesty.
enough. You know, you're right. You're right. A little bit of sass
Not
that
as brassy,
Messing
too
brings
honesty.
would have been over the top.
I mean,
Would've
I
been- not
love-
over the top. Would have been just nice. Whereas
I love Nicole Kidman. What's your favorite Nicole Kidman movie?
everything
Dead
she's
Calm.
in, Deadcom.
Is that what it's called?
She's a high school teacher.
Oh, that
Oh
one's
my
good.
God,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
What was this? What was
To
this?
Die For.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Gus Van Sant.
Yeah. Little Eyes Wide Shut.
I was like, that one was freaky.
Right.
Freaky deaky.
Eyes Wide Shut.
culty.
What was that movie where she's like Gone with the Wind in Australia? There, the Homecoming, not the Gone with the Wind, but the.
Isn't she playing something
Was that Dead Calm?
poetic society or society or
Dead
Dead
Poets
oh,
Calm
Society?
Dead Poet
Society?
Society?
No.
No.
No, that was
Really?
that was Robin Williams, the other drag queen.
You know.
Yes.
You know what she. So I don't know if you guys like M. Night Shyamalan movies. I love them. Many people don't. I love them. But she was brilliant in The Others.
Oh, The Others was amazing.
He was in the
She had me
Mule about
convinced the
6
whole
months ago.
time.
The director.
Now I
Yeah.
have to see what she played, but I can't remember.
Do we know? what
Moulin
the-
Rouge. Oh my God.
Oh, I
you remember
can't
Moulin
watch
Rouge?
another Moulin Rouge. Oh, I'll
No,
blow up
we
the
only needed to
place.
see it once. It was good.
Do
Oh,
we know what
thanks.
the cast of Will and Grace is doing now?
No. What are they doing now? What is the cast?
They're
If we only
going to the bathroom.
had-
Excuse me.
Sorry,
I
Grace.
can go this way.
Yeah. You know, that's something we could
Gonna watch
prepare
the puppy
for future episodes. What is the
Yes.
cast doing now? Yeah, what would you like to see doing going forward if we were to do this again?
Yes.
Another sitcom?
And
I can hear you in the bathroom.
Okay,
why? Just
we'll just send a camera in.
just
Try the new hand soap.
It's handy.
What did your instructors say? What
Do the
apart-
work.
Well, apart from the obvious monetary benefits of being able to write a sitcom, did he? I was just after Sean asked me that question, I was just thinking about the structure and the way it was written. Did he get into sort of historically what sort of plays eventually like Neil Simon would be an obvious sort of progenitor. Did he talk about that sort of thing? Because it is very efficient writing. It's very entertaining. It reminds me of sitcoms are like screwball comedies from the 30s. Hey, especially when you were reading it.
There's probably many takeaways for that. If what you're asking is like how the writing is done, so it's either you're setting up for a punch or a joke.
That's great.
You'll
So
notice in a
it's like
sitcom,
stand-up, yeah.
nobody has, very rare, does someone have more than like maybe 3 lines of dialogue.
Right.
That's, sometimes, I mean, there's big chunks in this that you saw, but you're setting up and punching, and there needs to be a conflict in every scene.
Every scene.
Right.
Okay.
And one of the things could be, we're both wrong and we're both right is a good way to think about when writing.
Is it true that in a sitcom, no 2 characters are allowed to talk about a third character that's off camera unless there's a problem?
That is actually,
Would fit
I've
into
not
it.
heard it, but that very much
Yeah.
suits that. Because if you're referring, you don't want to talk about what's not in the room. And if it has something to
It
do...
stretches the audience's imagination. Test the audience's imagination too much.
Yeah.
Hey, he's not in the room.
The scene should be always what's happening in the room, as a rule. This is one of the first shows that had a lot of telephone in it, by the way. As well, they're on the telephone a lot. That is a device that historically has been like stay away from like talking on the phone.
Like split screen.
But
Yeah,
in the
I mean it's been done, but there's a lot of
In
that.
movies,
in the
it's been done a
30s,
lot.
in the screwball comedies, the phone was used quite a bit. Right here, right here.
Watch the puppy. I know,
It was always it was a convenient device to interrupt whatever was going on, or solve a conflict, or introduce a conflict.
Hello. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
would they do it commonly split screen because...
Oh no, the split screen. That's like a late '60s thing, right? Before then, there's first time. When was this? European art films, maybe early '60s, split screen.
Right.
Certainly didn't. They weren't around in the '50s, were they?
No, how do you pronounce Moldar?
Who?
The Spanish
Yeah, how
director?
do you pronounce it?
I thought it was Almodovar.
Okay, so that guy, I think that he did split screens the most brilliantly in the extended opening sequence to Women on the Verge of a Nervous Breakdown.
Yeah.
Oh.
I only saw that once, but I do remember that.
Yeah.
So, but we never answered Kristian's question. I'm so
my
sorry
question.
about
What was
that.
my question?
Your question was, what would we do moving forward?
Yeah.
Oh.
What would we do moving forward? Yes. What would we do moving forward? If we were to go forward with this, how would this look? The idea of doing 2 in 1 night. I mean, we could already see like we did start a little bit late, like maybe 10 minutes after, so we're at 90-minute mark.
Well-
One episode is clear. I think the introduction of the cast worked nicely.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a great idea, Kristian.
And
Kristian and Sean. I think it's a great idea. What about
Mustaches.
well,
yes.
bringing in?
I won't wax.
We're not.
An audience?
It's all over the map. We're not sticking to a
There's an
particular
audience.
decade or anything like that, are we?
No.
No. Well, I will say that we want you here because it's a lot of work playing all these
No
different
talking!
roles. No, more
Quiet in the front
talking.
row. Down the front row.
So we want people to come, 154 James Street South, Tuesday nights, starts at 8 o'clock. But Kristian, what's your favorite sitcom ever?
I have several. I loved like in the early days. I liked Three's Company, and Happy Days. As a young man, and the Flintstones. I also liked the Honeymooners. Those are like the.
Honeymooners is a good one.
It is a good one.
Idea.
Then later the Jeffersons. Laverne and
Right.
Shirley. That whole canon of those Mork and Mindy. That's I grew up in the 70s with those particular shows.
Classic.
That was a classic. Yeah, Charles in Charge. Yeah, one of the many great spin-offs.
What about?
I really liked Elf.
Oh my God, Elf.
Oh, that's actually a great idea.
Right?
You know who the head writer for Elf?
And Elf was an alien, an illegal alien, who was eating cats.
Yeah, I remember that.
Right?
Wow.
Remember cats would always go missing. He was like, I don't know
Wow.
what you're talking
So the head writer for Alf
Yeah.
was this guy named Jerry Stahl. And at the height of Alf's popularity, he was getting paid $5,000 a week as the head writer, and he was injecting $5,000 worth of heroin
Oh,
a week.
wow.
And that's one of the reasons, while that show was popular, that's one of the reasons why the plots were so interesting.
Wackadoo? Yeah.
And then he went on to, or no, before that, he wrote pornography for Hustler, Wee, all those stroke
Of
mags,
course.
some of those others.
Mm.
And then he wrote the screenplay for an art porn film called Cafe Flesh, which is really funny.
Wow.
And then,
Can we do that script?
Well, yes.
I'm prepared. I got a condom.
Okay.
It's actually a great
That's two of us.
I
suggestion
always
too.
come
Let's
packed.
write that down.
Packing.
But while we're talking about sitcoms, I was thinking I was going to propose Batman. Because the dialogue is extremely campy.
It does read like a sitcom. It is
Yeah.
super campy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apart from
be
the
fun.
POW stuff, I mean, the dialogue is very funny, and some of it is actually.
If we were to do something like that, we'd need to have like the pals and things on a sound.
Yes.
Yeah,
soundboard.
that'd be great. That'd be
Yeah.
great.
That's a great idea. Eartha Kitt as Catwoman was so
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
Everyone says sexy, which is true, but she was really the funniest of the Catwomen.
She was the
on that
funniest, but
series.
Yeah.
Julie Newmar was the sexiest.
Yes, I would totally agree with you. I would love.
Cat suit.
What was that?
Right.
Oh, that's right. You have that cat
Oh,
suit.
Catwoman.
Hello, kitty.
That's an amazing cat suit.
And a role for,
And
I-
that cow thing. too,
I
cow
am-
we
clip.
got a POW?
Yes.
Sorry.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
No,
I
I'm
just
sorry.
got excited.
No, I'm sorry.
I,
sorry.
we're all sorry. We're all Canadian.
We're all wearing KBCs.
Sorry.
sorry. Not sorry.
That Batman idea is so out of left field, but I love it. Did you know that the guy? Okay, real quick. Did you know that the team that did Batman
Yes.
was supposed to have followed up with Wonder Woman, and there's actually a 4-minute pilot on YouTube that was shot in 1967. It was terrible.
Who was the lead?
No one who we
do
know
Batman. We
of.
gotta
No
do
one knows.
Lantern.
But they gave Wonder Woman a Jewish mother.
Uh,
By the way, I'm taking tonight's live stream as an opportunity to upset my mother, constantly announcing my Judaism. And I'm in love with the idea of the Mary Tyler Moore show.
Oh, yeah.
As long as it's an episode that takes place when she has the studio apartment and not that godforsaken one bedroom.
We found our Mary.
Would you play Mary?
I want to be Ted.
Nice.
Is that a wrap?
Well, we're about to wrap up here. I'll list off the top 5 sitcoms as Collider has suggested.
You do a great Murray.
So we'll start. We'll go with start here at number 5, Mary Tyler Moore Show.
Seinfeld.
Seinfeld, yes.
Yep.
Number 3, MASH.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Who just said
Yeah.
yay to
Oh,
that?
I did like
I
MASH,
like.
though.
I do enjoy that.
Dexter, did you say yay to that?
I'm pretty
Are you
sure
the
I
MASH
have.
fan?
Oh, I know,
I
but I
like
love
MASH.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
like it except for
Okay.
Is it?
Yeah. Oh, fair enough.
And pop psychology,
Oh, yeah. There was number 2, I Love Lucy. Yeah, and number 1,
All in the
Longest
Family?
running, The Simpsons.
The
Eat my
Simpsons.
shorts.
Boy, the
Yeah.
way Glenn Miller played.
I want to do Bartman. We should do Bartman
Wow.
instead of Batman.
Christian,
Yes.
do you think it would be a good idea for people watching this out there
Yes.
to post in the comments what show they'd like us to do next?
Yes. We won't be able to get to all your comments, I'm sure. But we'll do our utmost. Yes.
Oh my God, so fun. I really like Curb Your Enthusiasm.
I do.
Yeah.
That was one of
I'm
my
watching it
favorites,
all
and
right now.
Arrested Development.
I'm on season
Arrested
9.
Development is fucking, I'm trying to get Sean to watch that.
Watch what?
Arrested Development. Yeah.
Okay.
You've seen
So,
it?
Is it because I look like David Cross?
oh yeah.
A bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hi, David Cross.
Arrested Development made it.
Yeah.
I got the hots for him. That's why.
Yeah. Fleabag. Fleabag is good. I didn't realize it was a full
Fleabag's
sitcom.
on there.
Fleabag.
Yeah. And then, then going to number 5. So we have no shortage of potential.
Also,
Of course.
this might complicate matters a bit, but it might be interesting to do, if you could get the transcripts, you do, 1 week you do an episode of All in the Family, and then the following week you do show that